goddesses in training. Welcome back to the channel. It's 222 right now, okay? Some proof. Here we go. This is an incredible time to start talking about this topic. This was a huge download for me, guys. It was huge, okay? It was giant. It was ginormous. I woke up this morning really feeling different, feeling refreshed. Number one, I did some trauma release exercises last night, some bioenergetic stuff, guided by the Nagaraja, okay? And to some of you, that may sound very strange, very weird, but welcome to my life. My name is Uncle Makara, aka Sumet Chatterjee. Every single day we are winning. Every single day we're improving ourselves. And it's important for us to understand this one concept today. And if you understand it like I understand it, it is going to change the remainder of your lifetime. Okay? There's no questions about it. You know this is going to really heal you, especially the divine feminine within you, because we're starting at 222. There's got to be a reason for this. Okay? Usually when we start at 222, there's a lot of feminine healing, a lot of nurturing that emerges from that process. So number one is you got to understand that you are the best option in the world. Okay? Let that really sink in. You are the best option out there. And I don't want you to think of this in a very narcissistic, closed-minded way, right? But understanding that you are so money that you don't even know it, okay? Because honestly, think about it. You are the best at what you do, considering the fact that nobody else has your experiences, okay? Now, I think there's something very powerful in understanding the fact that there's no one else like you, okay? Ba 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 ba, there is no one like me, okay? That's that energy you gotta walk in with, that you gotta emphasize, you gotta embody, okay? Now, it's not exactly the same with two different people. You have a different flavor, different stylization, right? There's a different energy in certain individuals, right? And it's really, really key and really, really important that we understand that I'm the shit just because, okay? I don't need a rationalization, justification, big car, big house, you know, all of these external world things telling me that I'm good enough and show me that I'm worthy. Worthiness is because I exist. And this is the true, if you really understand this life hack, okay, it will not only help you in your health, but in your wealth, in your relationships, in your socializing with others, okay? No spamming, brother, okay? You can type comments, but just don't spam, okay? Okay, because you're reflecting what? Exactly, right? He's reflecting the fact that he is also in that spam, that mental spam that's happening for him, right? And then he needs to type it. You guys get that? So, a lot of the times when we look at the social dynamics industry now, a lot of people that used to say, I'm a 5 out of 10, or I'm a 7 out of 10, or I'm a 10 out of 10, or she's a 10, and she's a 9, and she's an 8, and we create these classifications depending on like general beauty. And the black pillars love to do this because they, you know, zoom into all the articulations and things like that, like, oh, your mandible, you know, zygote line, canthal tilt isn't correct yet, or whatever, right? However, instead of thinking I'm a 7 out of 10, I'm a 4 out of 10, or whatever, why don't you think I am one of one? Okay? This really shifted me this morning because I started to understand that I'm looking and seeking for all of this validation, all of these different, you know, things underneath the surface rather than getting to the source again, right? And once we go back to our own oneness again, instead of separation, we actually start taking the power back. And this is the universal shit test. This is the universe coming in, giving us this ginormous test for us to pass. It's like pop quiz time now. Are you really the shit? And then asks you, why are you the shit, right? Why are you him? Why are you her? Why are you the main character of your life? What makes you the priest or priestess beast? And you simply reply, just because. And let me break down that word, just because. Just because. Not be in effect to the world, but because remain the fact that you are one of one. Okay? That yes, others are playing by this hierarchy of 1 out of 10, but you have transcended the hierarchy and you're looking above it. Do you guys get this? Give me a thumbs up if you guys resonate with this idea or concept, okay? Because existment is the fulfillment of this criteria, okay? And others will feel that around you. If you really know that you are one of one, okay, there's nobody else there like you, and this is just a giant play where you can make a billion mistakes, but it takes you back into the present moment. Your present moment awareness has to win over the past and the future. You've got to put your creator before the creation, okay? And really understand that I have certain days where I get stressed or I get, muddied in my thinking, even as a flow state coach, right? This is my occupation in a sense, right? To tap in. And there will be times where I look at myself in the mirror and then I notice it's all in my eyes. This is wild to me, guys. You can tell, you can look at somebody's eyes and tell if they're tapped in, wired in, or there is something else going on, right? Because when people go into an environment, they look around like this with their eyes. But if you do this exercise with me right now, okay? Look forward with your eyes. You can look at the screen as well. However, imagine your eyes are like 2 rocks, 2 stones, 2 crystals, just stuck in place, right? Now immediately your thought chatter should shut down. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild how your eyes connect you to the experience of presence in real time? And isn't it wild how Buddha, Shiva, their eyes are slightly opened, right? And they're using a soft gaze rather than a, like a very sharp visual field, right? So, that's really powerful to understand. Hey, Daniel, what's up, man? So, you don't have to DHV, right? A lot of people say, demonstrate higher value, demonstrate higher. You have to assume higher value. Don't demonstrate it. It's got to be in your aura, in your essence. All you're doing now is showcasing it. Oh, look how cool. Yeah, you see this branded product here? Oh, yeah, I have this thing too. By the way, did I mention that? Okay. In St. Eve's, I took a trip last week and, okay. So that's what it is, man. And Daniel, you have the inner Christos. Jesus Christ is your friend, as you're saying. But a lot of people, they don't have that spark of Godfidence, or they don't understand that relationship to it, right? In the present moment. Now, a lot of people can get stuck on the concept of Christ rather than actually embodying and experiencing a personal relationship with that beingness. You see what I'm saying? So it's also about embodiment of the teachings, right? That's when the swagger is going to max out. Right? Because you understand, you can talk about it and make it a gimmick, but it's also more so about how you're living, right? I could say there's many people on this planet that are Christ-like, yet they don't identify as Christian, that I've met in my lifetime, So again, I have this technique that I have in my book, TPM, Theatrical Plasticity Method. You can look it up on Amazon, okay? Long name, just type in my full name, Sumed Chatterjee, okay? Into Amazon, just get my book to have a reference for this, okay? Now, I talk about the fake it till you make it hypothesis, right? And if that is really valid, I came to understand that it is, and the science does prove it, but it's not about faking it, it's about recognizing those traits within you already, right? It's about activating and emerging from what is already within you, your authenticity back, in a sense, right? So throughout our lives, we live pretending, hoping to be somebody, right? Not just being. So in TPM, what I wrote down is this technique called the present narrator technique, okay? Where you are the present narrator, like the movie, what was that movie with the, was it like Will Ferrell, where he's, there's like a narrator speaking? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? In the background. Essentially, if someone knows, just type it in the chat. But yeah, basically, essentially that movie was like, there's a narrator in the background describing everything. So he's like, and now, Uncle Makara is about to drink his coffee. He is now drinking his coffee. He is now putting down the cup. He feels a little bit of an itch on his wrist. He also feels a tension around the back of his neck. And he feels like his solar plexus is expanding, right? So all I'm doing is I'm just explaining out loud what I'm feeling in the here and now, okay? And another thing I would say, let's go back to the eyes element. You know how eyes are really important, evil eye as well as very important in esotericism. We understand this, okay? This is how you guys are leaking your energy. You are looking into people's eyes too much and you're getting drowned into their world, their ideologies. The empaths especially, when they're making eye contact, they're drowning in another person's world rather than just being in awareness of it. Having those, you know, gemstone Vajra eyes, diamond eyes, rather than eyes that are constantly all over the place and moving, right? Seeking for attention, looking outside of me for acceptance, wholeness, fulfillment, you know, abundance. But that is not a healthy mentality. So Stanislavski has this technique as well, guys, right? Stanislavski is a great theater practitioner, one of the greatest, and he has said this technique of how I feel now is, how I feel now is, how I feel now is, how I feel now is. And you just keep saying how you feel in the moment. And you'll notice it keeps shifting. How I feel now is, I feel like my nose is like kind of sniffly. Okay? How I feel now is, I feel that my mind is very sharp. Okay? How I feel now is, I feel my energy engaging with my throat chakra as I'm expressing myself. Okay? So try this activity out. You're just basically resonating at the frequency of what you are doing in the present moment. And like a narrator, you're looking at it from third person and you're saying, you know, whatever your name is, Daniel. Daniel is going through his day now. There's a process where he picks up and reads his Bible. Now he is stretching and yawning. He is allowing himself, right? So as you start doing that, you'll give yourself this kind of expansive, transcendent worldview as you're going through that, right? Excuse me. I get another ascension flu. So you got to understand how to go from this stressed out face to more of this face that's glowing, effortless, you know, beautiful, okay? And Retro Rick from YouTube, thank you, I'll check that out, bro. So anyway, spark of, resonate at the frequency of beauty, right? So even like romanticizing daily objects, right? Like if you, let's say for instance, you bought a certain cup that you like to use, or, you know, I bought this bowl, okay? So this is like a Tibetan wooden bowl, right? It's like this bowl I bought because it reminded me of how the Buddha used to have a begging bowl, right? And he used to go around begging. And it brought me that understanding, and it made my journey much more enriching to have oats and, you know, different things that I eat with this specific bowl. So what did I do? I romanticized, I stylized my life into a more exciting narrative. It's always about you going back to your frame of reality, right? And whoever has the strongest frame always wins, okay? In any interaction. If you have a strong frame of reality, you basically have to understand three things, guys, right? Who you are, what the universe is, and where your focus is. These three things, okay? This is gonna create your laser beam focus. And then once you have that laser beam focus, now you can activate and create better, you know, pathways throughout that. So you know how all of these ancient holy texts, they have parables and stories and core lessons and morals and all these different things embedded into a story. Why? Because a story is accepting of our subconscious mythos, right? There's a background that each culture has where they have stories and a myth that they tell themselves where you can actually relate better with the story, right? You remember there's certain stories in your life where they've been like pivotal moments or like little highlight reels where you just remember, right? It could be great or bad or whatever it was a story to tell. And how do you know it's a story to tell? It was your story to tell. That's how you know, right? Because again, I'm the shit just because. I'm not giving myself a reason. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm not trying to explain it. You get what I mean? A lot of people, they'll try to explain it. I'm cool because blank. You don't need a reason. The reason is the curse. The reason is what keeps blocking you, and you'll constantly be looking for that thing that makes you happy. Not understanding the happiness is an inside job, bro. Okay? You will keep finding all of these loopholes and manufacture different ways, but you will never really get to that understanding until you, I mean, a lot of people do get this concept, right? And they're going to tap into this self-fulfilling prophecy to understand, I am me. Only me and nobody else, and that is so freeing to me. Okay? That is so freeing to me. Now, whoever Retro Rick is, I'm sure he doesn't, you know, tap into the type of content that I speak. He might look like me, he might have my vibe, whatever you're saying, okay? He's my twin. However, there will never really be another Uncle Makara. You guys get that? I'm irreplaceable and irreplicable. Okay, you could clone me and clonate and put me into a box somewhere as a robot, okay? But it won't be the same. You guys get that? You could hijack and install my consciousness into a little tablet somewhere, okay? Have, you know, speak to me through a hologram, through Neuralink in the future, but it will take away from the authenticity of the now moment. Now you're just speaking to my hologram, bro. You're speaking to that consciousness, right? That ability to understand that. And where really is the locus of our consciousness, right? I love Descartes' understanding of, you know, the I think, therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum, or zoom, okay? I think I'm Zoom, therefore I am Zoom, okay? But that idea of dualism, mind-body dualism, right? That understanding, and how he said that the pineal is at the center, right, of both of the hemispheres. And I find it very fascinating how that is also, Peniel, I believe, is in the Bible, where Jacob's ladder, right, that there's this story of him climbing up this ladder, or he slept on a stone tablet, right, and then he got these visions of him spiraling up to the, you know, the heavens and so forth. So that symbolism of that Kundalini or DNA activation, whatever you want to look at it as, really has a lot of clues for us, I believe, truly, for this swagger principle, because a lot of us, you know, we accept the fact that we're struggling, trying to control our lives in more ways, you know. We're figuring out control valves rather than a release valve, okay? And in social interactions, if you try to control the social interaction, it's gonna go haywire. If you suddenly start to let go, surrender, release, understand there's soft tension, soft pressure and control, then you can actually work with it. Right? But if you have this full-on like authoritarian level of control and you need everything to be exact, you're gonna freak yourself out in your own ideology, in your worldview, in your own mind. Your expectations are gonna be so large, but it won't be matching up to the reality that you're sensing. And that's bad for your psyche. That's bad for your spirituality. To be spiritual, you've got to be committed towards a brighter, greater journey, right? You've got to be devoted to your higher self. But you keep ignoring that version of you, thinking, yeah, whatever, man, it'll happen when it happens, right? You kind of superimpose it into the future, forgetting to access it through the now. But what if you just believed, man, you're the best, okay? You're the best. Even, you're not comparing yourself to anybody else saying that. You guys get that? I'm a priest beast, brother. So, it's like when you get into, I'm that way, I'm the shit, I'm the best because blank. If you're giving yourself a reason, you're putting yourself into comparison, you're putting yourself into judgment, you're putting yourself into persona fatigue. I'm that way because I own a house. Okay? I'm good enough because I have the bare essentials of this world. What are you saying to yourself? Okay? No, you exist, therefore you are lit. End of story. Okay? Don't give me this kind of justification model that you create through your defense mechanisms, my friend. Okay? You can tell me all your coping ways that you want to stay the same and you want to stay stuck. It is not until you lean into this abundance mentality where you understand you are good enough just because, and then you move forward. You don't need a reason, okay? You keep looking for a reason, but I'm telling you, you are the reason, and the resistance is the reason for you to crush it, to push and lean in, okay? So that struggle phase, as Dr. Herbert Benson says, okay? Dr. Herbert Benson, by the way, very, very powerful research, okay? And the Flow Research Collective also looked at this. So there's a flow cycle, okay? So the first stage of the flow cycle is struggle phase. We feel like we have to push, we have to hustle. We have to use some grit and ferocity in the beginning of any task, right? We just need to get our energy into it. We got to get the momentum up, correct? That's what we believe. Now, after struggle phase, there is another muscle release phase. So there's a muscle control, muscle release, right? So the release muscle, the parasympathetic understanding of this thing is that you are actually letting go in order for you to access the flow. Okay, you're not trying to control the flow to try to summon it in the now. You're letting go more so that you understand that flow is the norm and that it is the background of my experiences. And actually, me at my default mode network understands that I can access my greatest self or my lowest self and I have ultimate freedom, okay, freedom of choice. So as long as you're coming from, I am causing my reality, I have a choice in my reality, once you're giving yourself that self-efficacy, but not only that, your self-concept is sharp, right? Like you really know who you are. When you're an adolescent, you don't really know who you are, bro, right? And that's why you're struggling. You're struggling because you're still trying to find out, like, what's the coolest version of me to be, right? Like I've tried sports, I've tried, joining different teams, I've tried, talking to girls, I've tried to work out a lot, you tried all of these things, but are you embodying it? Do they feel real towards your narrative, the journey of your life that's slowly been written in the Akashic, right? All of that stuff is in the background, and you got to be able to observe that is happening actually, and not let go of the steering wheel. A lot of people, they let go of the steering wheel, or they let the ego control the steering wheel. Whereas you have to have the ego sit on the side seat, almost in a sense, okay? The ego will start to grab the wheel at times. You're gonna be like, hey, hold on, you're not qualified yet to make this decision, right? You have to have the soul come in and tell the ego to shut up at times, okay? And vice versa. Because ultimately, what if you have such a soul expanding experience, but you're just trying to get something mundane done in this physical world? At that moment, you would need the alliance with your ego, not the decapitation of your ego, right? Not the amputation of something that is so part of you, the I am, your infinite nature. So the less you start making this about like, me and this other person, they're getting mad at me, this reality, I can't go out because they'll judge me. All of these different thoughts, you're not playing within the infinite of this game. This is an infinity game, okay? This is a game of infinity. This is not a game of, okay, I'm just gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do this, and then, okay? Yes, there are tasks that you do, but ultimately you've gotta have this belief in the back of your mind that I am the best just because, okay? And the more you understand this, the more you create this self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, don't be weird about this, right? Because I know there's going to be a lot of people who understand and say that, hey, you're being too proud, you're being too delusional, keep it down, stop shining so brightly, stop being so gray. I mean, what makes you like that anyway, right? And that's when the universe tests you, when you really don't fully believe it in yourself too, right? And now sometimes it'll try to come in and try to take you off of your flow, take you off of your swagger, right? However, you got to determine that, hey, I am one of one. I am that I am. Here I return. I am golden. Perfect. It's always been here. It's always been mine. I have reached Shambhala, right? The Pure Lands. I'm here in Dharmakaya, right? That is my norm. I impute my I on my emptiness. I don't impute my I on my body or my mind. From the emptiness of my third eye, I I lock my identification from. And through that, I can see and perceive through the noise. Okay? This is a cosmic riddle. And you know that riddle of the Sphinx, right? The riddle of the Sphinx is basically, you know, what has 4 legs in the beginning, in the middle has 2 legs, and in the end has 3 legs. Okay? It's basically the life cycle. Okay? As you're a baby, you crawl on your hands and feet. So you have 4 legs in that sense. And when you're in an adult, you just have 2 feet you stand up on. But when you're older, you use a cane, correct? You use a cane, so you have 3 legs. Okay? That sense. So that's the riddle of the Sphinx. Now, did you know that the Sphinx was actually a portal, okay, on planet Earth? There's an Earth portal. Now, a lot of people don't know that because they're not a part of the esoteric teachings, or they aren't caught up with Primal Sutra or the ADAPTS program, right? We already talk about this stuff, and a lot of the entities that I channel, they give me these clues and understandings. Now, of course, this is all an experimental process, and you got to take notes as you learn, right? Yeah, so Ryan G says, I've decided I want to channel the inner animal, as Sobek suggested. So we actually got an inner animal, an understanding that we have this holy animal within us that really resonates with our soul, right? And that teaches us about our primal nature. It teaches us certain clues about our own fertility and our own survival again. And I think it's a powerful suggestion, Ryan G, as you're competing in 2 days, or 2 days, right? Yeah. So, yeah, man, this is going to be so powerful. And yeah, again, those exercises by Nagaraja, bro, I was like, damn, this opened up my entire lower body. Like, I didn't realize my lower body had that much tension. But after I did that, I was like, whoa, right? I just feel more grounded, right? I don't feel my energy leaking into others more, right? Like, usually your energy kind of just, what are they thinking? What are they thinking? What are they thinking? I'm the shit just because, right? Man, it's such a powerful energy. And Ryan G, we talked about this before, man. It's like, you got to be the star player, homie. You know, you got to be your own biggest fan. You got to be the one who steps up for you, challenges yourself, pats yourself on the back. Hey, this guy made it, okay? And there's a different type of vibe, a joyous jubilance. Welcome to Jubilant June, okay? We're at day 13 now, and we're starting to really understand this. Now, today's an organization day, okay? So start to organize everything and all of these different ideas. Again, let me just go through the facts, okay? Number 1 is existence is the fulfillment of the criteria. You exist, therefore you are enough. Live with that, okay? The second is you understand that there is a spark of Godfidence within you that you can access through the present moment. The next thing is to romanticize your life. Make it more epic. Make it theatrical and movie-like. Make it more cinematic so that your own eyes, your own journey can enjoy and thrive with this thing, right? I find it cool that I have a skull like this, you know? For a lot of people, it's like, yeah, that's weird, bro. Are you an Agori? What are you doing? I can't believe that you got a skull. That's so negative, right? And you're a positive psychologist. I can't believe you, okay? Everybody will have their projections. But hey, man, I enjoy it, you know? It's like, why did I get this random thing, right? It's like, this staff, this bow staff, or this random, you know, like Funko Pop doll, right? All these things, they add creativity, they add amplification towards the character of Uncle Makara as he now merges into the Goji Toji, what's his name, Ranji? Gojo, right? Gojo Toji forms. So, I mean, without further ado, I just want to remind you that if you have these 3 things locked, and you want, hey, this is going to sound very weird, but think of it like jerking off, right? But instead, think of it as self-amusement. You are amusing yourself in the social environment so much. You're so in your own world and your self-amusement and your own jokes that you know you don't even have to laugh at your jokes. You just know you're funny. You know what I mean? You just assume you're funny. You just assume you're the shit. You assume you're the popular kid. You know, you just show up, right? You just show up and you crush it. There's no need for you to question yourself, judge yourself, look at your past history, the way that that girl cheated on me, this didn't happen the way that I should have wanted it to. Don't get into that trap. That's just a library for you to learn. Your past is just a library. That's how a yogi thinks, okay? Your past is simply just a reference point. Like, oh yeah, that happened in 3rd grade, cool. Doesn't change my nowness unless I heal it, unless I forgive, right? Or what do we call it? Swamp no, right? That's an inside joke for the community. So If you want, definitely catch up to the rest of these lives, these recordings. We also had a podcast last night, so go to IMC TV, check out Savage Shaman Seminars, also posted on this channel, okay? And that was also really powerful. And I'm really hoping that you guys choose to sign up to some of these free sessions with us, okay? We have free channeling sessions every Monday. Who else is doing that? Okay? Who else is doing that? I don't know. I haven't found that many people doing this, okay? This kind of work. And usually they keep it very secretive, right? Oh, it's a mystery school. Oh, let's keep it a mystery. Bro, I'm going to talk about it. I want to scream it out from the rooftops, bro. You know what I mean? Like, because it's so helpful. Because I want to cherish this journey, you know, and I understand that clearly these deities, these different beings are teaching me something so profound that my human mind can't even wrap around in the moment. You guys get that? So there's a bigger picture happening. It's almost like a cosmic blueprint, right, of all of these greatest script writers on earth coming together, right, on the team to write the story with us and through us and for us. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. Remember, you never know who's backing you, okay? Could be one of the greatest beings that you never even knew was one of your best friends since day one. Your guardian angels, your protective frequencies around you in your own space, okay? So just learn about that. Learn how to handle yourself in these different situations. You got this, we got this. Upward Spiral Gang. No leftovers, no people left behind. Let's go, everybody, okay? But hey, only you can cut yourself off from the circulation of this power, right? Only you can say that no, enough is enough. I'm not going to do this kind of Primal Sutra thing. This is too intense or creepy or whatever it is. Like, you're creating all these judgments in your mind, whereas rather, Primal Sutra is the way forward, okay? And it's not the only way forward, okay, but it's one of the ways forward. I truly believe that. And as this channel will start growing more and more, and people will start to understand this frequency, I think we're going to start to create a world movement, guys. And this is not just me saying this. I know this is some other being speaking through me right now. But trust me, when I say this, we will never be the same again. Let's go. Just wait and watch. Us. Let's get it. Let's get it. Have the best day ever.